right, so hi, welcome to Binge Buddies. Something with Beagles and bullets. I'm not even going to try this week. Me, your host, is always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog, Buddy, Dykes.
There are some dogs that are called Buddy.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of dogs called Buddy.
There's one very specific dog called Buddy.
Airbud?
Yeah, Joel for the win. We also have Joel.
I got a delay because I said Airbud.
Yeah, it was Airbud. We have Joel Slink DeWitte.
Well, that's
Slinky
Toy
dog.
Story, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slinky dog.
Yeah, that one's pretty.
Joel, you're a ride.
I like the easy answers.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I know Ryan's gonna get this one. At least I really hope so. But I'm just hoping he's picturing the dog as I say it. We also have Ryan Brusier Lootens.
Which one's Bruiser?
I thought for sure you're gonna get that one right away. It's great comedy.
Oh man.
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh god, I don't like Legally Blonde.
What's wrong with Legally Blonde? It's a great comedy.
God, get in my wheelhouse. You should have said Cujo.
Cujo's not even on my list of 45 dogs. Poor Cujo got dropped off.
Oh, dog.
They did not want Murder Dog. Cujo didn't make it. The fucking dog from the Phantom Toll Booth, that one did.
You give me a Reese Witherspoon. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I gave you a quality comedy. That's more on you than on me. All right, so here we are talking John Wick Chapter 2. If you listened last week, you know this is my favorite movie of all time. I'm so excited to talk about it. I'll do my very, very, very quick hot take. I saw this in theaters opening weekend, as excited as anyone could be. Left the theater going, well, I guess I'm done with John Wick. It did not work for me. I did not enjoy the ride. I got bored in like every action sequence. It kind of happened again last night when I rewatched it. The magic from the first movie did not carry over to the second one for me very much. I think there's a ton in here that works really, really well, and I love a lot of it. But push comes to shove, I can understand why when it came out, I didn't want to go see part 3. If I'd felt the same way about it that I did back, like when I watched it last night, that I did back when I saw it in theaters, I probably would have seen 3 and 4. I liked it more on my second watch. Still not my favorite movie. Yeah, that's what I got. We'll save Matt for last this time. Ryan, what about you?
So, you know, like I said in the first episode, this is a kind of a staple between me and my wife. When a new one comes out, it's not a question of how we're going to see it. It's when. There, I did it right that time. If I remember correctly, this movie came out February 17th. So me and my wife went to go see this on our Valentine's Day date.
Aww.
So,
such a romantic film as well. Like, it's so romantic.
But, you know, I remember watching and be like, okay, it's still got the same bravado as the first one. But in my rewatch, I started to kind of be like, you know, I don't like Ruby Rose. To me, is such an overrated actress. She can't act. She doesn't say a single word in this movie. She still can't act her way out of the box. You know, it's just something about her. Come On is okay in this. Hell on Wheels on AMC. He's great in that. So I have my, you know, it's just, he's very hit or miss with me. He's just very meh. But in rewatching this, I had some issues. We'll talk about the beginning, but yeah, I mean, it's still a good movie. What I like about this movie is the fact that they have to rely more on the world building. And if you appreciate the world building of the first one, you can let things slide for this one because they do a really good job of world building in this one. I'm done.
Yeah, my mush mouth is getting contagious.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, Joel, what about you?
I disagree with Ryan.
I always appreciate
that last piece of it. So maybe this doesn't make sense, but John Wick 1 is a film. John Wick 2 is an action movie. There's something complete about the first movie, and it is just like we talked about, almost perfect to watch. I don't know anybody that doesn't like that. This one, they show too much. They show too much of the Assassin Syndicate, of the broader world. I feel like if they did a slower bleed of some of that, it would have been more palatable. But just how quickly they focus on expanding the world so they can expand and make everything bigger and more action packed. It's too much.
I see this. I'm just going to say this real quick. When you watch the third one, it's going to make sense because they had to do it this level because now at the end of the movie, they say international. and that's why we get the third one, because then he goes international. So that's my defense. And
That's fine. I don't like the power scaling.
I agree.
It's just too
okay,
much.
Joel. Okay.
All right, Matt, how much do you love this one?
Spencer.
So this for me, it's the worst of the films. Like it is probably the bottom of my list. It is the bottom of my list, but there are elements in it that I adore. I absolutely love parts of this. There are elements of this what I don't like so much. I think it comes down to the main problem I have with this film is the villains are not good. No. Santino he's just a sniveler. That he's definitely he's like Vigo's son, and like Vigo's son was not the main villain. Vigo's son was just kind of like a target. And I watching it again, I was just like, yeah, I think that's the reason why I don't like this one so much is the villain just isn't that compelling.
Agreed.
Just
in the first movie, the son is a sniveling idiot, but then you've got the big bad who has like the gravitas and weight behind it. And it made it more satisfying. I didn't find it all that satisfying, the main villain in this one.
No, when the main villain finally gets shot in the face, I didn't have this like, yeah, fuck that guy, like I did with Alfie Allen. When he died, I'm like, yeah, take that, Theon Greyjoy. But like,
I mean, when he gets shot at the end in the Continental, spoiler alert, it's just kind of like, yeah, well, you were just fucking gloating about how you're so great. You're an idiot though, because quite clearly he doesn't give a shit. He's going to just shoot you. You're a fucking idiot, and you deserved it. But it wasn't like you said. It's not really satisfying. It's like he's fucking gone. It's just kind of like, yeah, what the fuck did you expect, you moron? And that's kind of like the problem I have with it is he's just
me being
he's basically like, oh, my sister's given the seat. I want the seat. Nah. I'm gonna have him kill her. Blah blah blah. And it's
very like he's very sniveling.
Yeah.
But and again, this goes back to the world building. He's got the marker, and that's where I enjoyed that because it,
Yeah, and I enjoyed that as well. I
hate the marker. I hate the marker. I'm gonna jump into this really quick. I think the marker is the biggest. It might be my biggest complaint with the movie, and it's solely based on the fact that this guy, the sniveling little shit, helps John with his impossible task. Whatever the impossible task is, go murder the country of Bolivia. I don't know. Like he has to go do his impossible task, and the point of the task is to get out of the assassination game. And the way that he agrees to do it is by accepting something that will put him back in the assassination game.
But he even
that's the dumbest shit in the world. Like,
but he even said, I respect that you were out, but when you came back and killed Vigo, you're back in. And he even said that in the first one. So
I get that, but it still doesn't it doesn't work for me because then that token doesn't work as a payment. I'm retiring. I'm never going to kill anyone again. Well, I'm just going to take this just in case. Like it just
that makes sense.
Just in case does not make sense to me if it's that important. Like it just doesn't work if it's that important. He would need a better payment, not just I guess I'll have that ace in my back pocket in case you actually don't retire. I'm just assuming that you won't. It's too much of a leap for that big of an idiot of a character.
Yeah. I like the mark as a concept, but I kind of agree with you, like the way that it was dealt with and the way that it's dealt as well, like why is it okay? Why is John the one who's got all the targets on his back, even though he had no choice but to carry out the assassination that was ordered by the brother? Like that, I again is a problem for me. It's one of the problems I have. One of the things that I love about the film, though, is the expansion of the world. Like when we go to Italy, the continental in Italy, and then the whole sequence where he's getting his suit, weapons, like
that's the shit I like.
Peter Serafinowicz as the sommelier.
So good.
I'm here for a tasting.
So fucking good. That whole sequence.
My note.
I wrote it down.
This is my most fun I've ever had with a gun salesman since the first Terminator movie. Like it's so good. Like I love it.
What I love about it as well is like Peter Serafinowicz. Like there's a bit where he's gone through all the guns and then he goes dessert and he's asking for like knives and stuff. And there's just this look on his face of like, dessert. And he's just like, he's so proud of his knives. He's like, he's so good. He's so good. And like moments like that are in the film, they're like sort of like scattered throughout. They're enough for me to kind of like enjoy the film enough to kind of ignore the fact that the villain's a bit of a sniveler. And like, you know, so you have like Lawrence Fishburne going nom, 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 with all that scenery. He's absolutely loving it. And I like that as well.
I
Like,
love
I
seeing them
forget.
together. I'm such a
Yeah.
nerd just
I
to
always
see Keanu and
forget
Lawrence Fishburne.
because-
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because I always forget. It's like, oh shit, yeah, it's Neo and Morpheus together because they're two so different characters in this. Like, you know, in the Matrix, they're very like we were saying last week. Neo is very wooden. Morpheus is kind of wooden as well.
Yeah.
In the Matrix, whereas in this one, they're the opposite of that. I mean, like Keanu Reeves is still a bit more subdued, but Lawrence Fishburne is, like I said, eating the scenery.
He's
Like and
homeless
he's so
assassin
good.
man.
Yeah.
Homeless assassin Birdman.
Sorry.
Homeless assassin bird king.
Yeah.
Let's not. He's the Bowery king. He's so good in this. And you know, like all those moments to me, it makes up for where it kind of lacks. And I still enjoy the film. I will still watch it because like some of the action sequences are fucking great. The catacombs.
Catacombs.
Catacombs I like.
The catacombs is incredible because it's got this intelligence of John. It's like he knows something's
coming.
up with this situation, so he plans ahead. And it's like he goes in with just a pistol because you can't go in with a rifle and a shotgun into this party and hide that around. But he knows he's going to need that, so he hides them on his route out. And I just love that sort of the way that it goes through the catacombs and like transitioning from rifle, shotgun, and it's so fucking good.
But here's another reason why like this movie kind of drives me nuts, because I agree with what you're saying and I like it, and we probably shouldn't move through more chronologically like we do, but this one there's a story in the first half, and the second half is just every assassin in the world's gonna be chasing him and you're just gonna watch him shoot people for about an hour. Doesn't really work for me. But even like the setups, like they don't feel as organic or like fun as the first one did. So the entire setup of the movie is we have the guy with the marker is sending John Wick to go kill his sister so he gets the seat at the table. It's an impossible thing. No one could ever do it. It's like, yeah, that's why I wanted you, because it's impossible. No one could ever do it. He's like, okay, so I'll go get a map then and make it extremely possible, which is what he does. He finds a map that takes her straight to her fucking room. And then he's like, now I could take the same route out and not have to kill anyone, because I literally have killed no one. I put a bullet in her head for good measure, but that's all I've done. I could take the same route out, or I could walk out the front door like a big boy. Oh, no, fight everybody. Like, it's just like, what is happening? Like, all of the intelligence of the first movie melted away so we could have forced action sequences. And like, I get that because I'm at an action movie, but the first movie, it felt organic. Like, oh shit, we stumbled into an action sequence. And this one felt more like, if I go out the way that I came in, I don't shoot anybody. But if I walk out the front door, we're going to have a great action sequence. And we did. It's great. But now I'm seeing the movie make it.
To be fair, we don't see him enter. We
Exactly.
don't see if he went above, if he was in the crowd. Like, that just kind of allures to the whole Baba Yaga thing. He's a ghost. We don't see him if he's actually in the party or behind the stage.
Yeah, I always assumed he doesn't get like, you know, doesn't get into her room
going up
through
through a sewer pipe.
Yeah,
I don't buy that.
I feel like he gets in through. He goes in through the catacombs. He goes in the way he came in. He goes out the same way he came in, because as he goes in, he's laying all his weapons.
Yeah,
so he went in that way, and then he comes out the same way. But because the
I'd have to
party's
watch
like
it again, because
in
it did
full
not
swing.
feel like that when I've watched it either time.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
because he walks into the catacombs with the rifle bag and the shotgun bag,
So
and he
sets
sets
it up,
everything up, and then goes into the party.
then goes
through
into the
same
party,
way.
makes his way. He's a ghost. No one.
I'd have to watch it again, because I guarantee, like, while I was watching it, and I've even like watched breakdowns of it, of other people like validating my opinion, like, okay, no, this still feels right. It still just doesn't work for me. Like, I'll watch it again.
I get where you're coming from, and I think what it is he could have walked out, but he runs into Cassian, and Cassian is like, you working, John?
Yeah,
he does get spotted by Cassian like right away.
And I think that's where it kind of like it goes, because he's going out the same way he came in. I'm pretty sure of that.
I'm pretty sure. No, 'cause I'm going based on the map sequence where he's like, "This is how you get into her room."
No, he says get into the estate, not into the room.
Okay, we're arguing on like very specific lines just to make this scene work. Saying there's a problem, even whether or not we're both dead on, there's still a problem.
Joel, what do you think?
Keep me out of this.
Yeah, I'm saying
want my
either way,
movies back, damn
no
it.
matter which one of us is right, the fact that this argument can happen is showing that this movie is not as airtight as the first one.
No,
Like, there's
that's
still
right.
Oh yeah, and
those
it
issues.
isn't. It's like
Yeah.
the
It's
problem
not.
with this
It's-
film is it isn't like you go from. I think this is why, like 3 and 4 are so much better, is because you go from like you're going from John Wick 1 to John Wick 2, which isn't as tight as John Wick 1, but then when you go from 2 to 3, you're going from a lesser film into a better film, and then from 3 to 4, you go from like a better film than the fourth one to a phenomenal film as a final one, because and I think that's kind of like where 2 is lacking. It's just lacking because the first one is so good, and it's kind of like shooting itself in the foot a little bit because it's very difficult. One thing I did, like my first note on this though, and I do like this throughout the whole film, is this film has a lot more color in it. The first film's always very, very kind of drab and everything like that, but like from the very get-go of this first film, the colors are more vibrant. Like that opening sequence in New York, so we can tie it back in to try and move through the film.
Oh, we're fucked on that at this point. But yes, please try. Because we
I'll
want to talk
try.
about the opening of the film. We got to let Ryan pop off because he does not like the opening of the film.
I thought
But
you
you
guys were
have
doing me a
like
favor, so I wouldn't have to be so.
No, I want to hear Ryan do this one. I already had to pop off once. I'm sure I got a few more left in the tank.
But what I like about the opening is just like visually, there's a lot more color there. Like, so you've got the reflection of the light on the vehicles and stuff like that. And there's just more color in the scene itself. Whereas like the first one always felt kind of drab and very kind of like blue greeny, really, apart from like, in the nightclub and stuff like that. But like in general, this one feels a bit more vibrant. There's a bit more color there. So like that opening sequence in like the street in New York, there's colorful reflections on everything. It's not just that same kind of drab palette of the first one, and I do like that a bit more.
So what I think is the issue with chapter 2 is the success and the stylized fighting of the first one meant that they had to amp it up in this one, and the story kind of took a back seat. I enjoyed different aspects of the story, like the Kamara being the Russian mob, the markers, the different type of tailors. You have a tailor for, that makes suits with body armor sewn in. All that stuff is cool to me. But like the beginning of this movie, which will allow us to start going chronologically, is not earned. No. We have a very tight finish in the very first movie. Everything was right with the world. He was walking away with a dog that he picked up while he was healing himself, the dog that was going to be euthanized. So there's that hope again. All was right in the world. But he still wants his fucking car. So he goes and finds a great actor that is misused in this movie, Peter Stormare, as
He's so good.
Vigo's brother.
Yeah.
And it is just, it's just not good. Like, and the car
We
ends up getting destroyed anyway.
He tries to
Aurelian
redo
comes in, it's like,
he tries to redo the "Who is John Wick" speech.
Yeah,
And it's like,
I was just going to say
we
that.
don't
And
need
it doesn't
that.
work.
no,
don't
It doesn't
need
really
that.
work. The only
So-
thing that I think is good in that whole thing is, I think I wrote it down.
the color.
the
I agree
bit
with the
where-
color.
It's basically the bit where at the end of what he's done his whole like, this is who John Wick is, where he says, I can assure you the stories you hear about John Wick, if nothing else, have been watered down. Like, I do like that
was
addition
good.
That's
to
all
it.
we need. But like, it goes back to the Kevin Nash thing. They tried to redo that with the dude standing, oh, I'm coming out of the shadows, or he's coming out of the shadows. It's just, it is not earned. I wish they would have just started with him coming home with the dog, and then Santino, the Camaria crime boss, is like, I have this and I want to cash it in. I hear you're back. That's how the movie should have started, instead of this nice tie-up of the car. It was not earned, and that's a big problem to me, because when you have an airtight script in the first one, you can definitely tell this one is not going to be as airtight. There, Brian, I said it.
Thank you.
And I agree.
mean,
that opening sequence to me, it does feel out of place. It does feel like a bit like,
let's get them back in the world with fighting and guns.
But like, even like, they could have done it by just having the fucked up car from his car, just totally fucked up in the front seat, like, or in the driveway of the house or whatever. And when Santino shows up, look, what happened to your car, John? Someone borrowed it. And like, just move on from there. It's like, okay, there's a cool story there. I wish we could get it. And like, that's that thing that the first movie did so well, of like, there's a cool story there. I wish we could get part of it, and then we just don't. And jumping back,
I do like Aurelio coming back though, and it's like, John, I thought you loved this car. And it's like, oh, well, and he's going through all the things that's wrong with it, and it's like, I could fix it.
Yeah. It's like, I'll get it back to you next year or something.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas
2030.
But like, I think that's kind of why I get frustrated with this movie, because like, there's movies that we've watched for this series that I have full on hated. I don't hate this movie. I just don't like this movie. And I think that bothers me a little bit more. Like, it's easier to hate movies than it is to just kind of not like them. Because like, even like when Santino shows up and he gives him the marker, I think the idea of the markers are incredibly, I think in this movie, the idea of the markers are incredibly stupid, but the idea of markers in general, I think are really cool. Like, I like the design of them. I like the both of the put like your blood fingerprints in them. Like, it's like this super like way over the top, but you could see it like assassin contract thing. Like, there's cool things.
It's like an old, it's like this old.
It's wonderfully
like,
analog.
Hundreds of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, you know, there's nothing digital about it. They keep their digital footprints out of it. Everything is done through like those tubes at a bank that you put the money in to deposit, and they've got all the typewriters and like Morse code kind of stuff.
And for some reason, the switchboards from like
operators, that is the coolest
but it's
thing
analog.
about
it's
the
like
world
what
building.
it's what Joel said. Like, it's this whole analog world of like the switchboards and the typewriters.
Again, I love that. But even Winston, when he comes to get the marker claim, he's got a book. Like, but like that's
with
so
the
cool.
with the thumbprints in it. And like, you know, it's like, and his neighbor's like, mark it. And I do like the world that they build and expand on this idea of like, you know, Joel nails it, analog. And it's how can this huge crime syndicate exist in the world? Well, because it's all analog. So there's nothing, there's no like sort of like data trail.
The only thing they do is they send out contracts on, you know, prepaid burner phones. Every one of those phones is not modern when you're watching them. When they
they're the little flip up things.
Yep.
Like, there's not a single smartphone there. That's they're old, like, you know, handsets. Well, I would have appreciated it a bit more if it was like the phone from the Matrix. That would have been like you know, the little flip down one. That would have been kind of interesting, because that's really analog technology, really, and a nice little nod back to the Matrix. I just like the Nokia phones. I remember, like, you know, having old Nokia phones like that.
Apparently
when a phone was a phone,
nuts with them right now. Like, they're very popular, Gen Z, apparently, which is interesting. They're
just all drug dealers, right?
John Wick's house blows up. Moving on.
I don't really care about John Wick's house blowing up. I'm sorry.
I don't care for the beginning of this movie.
I don't
Phantasm's
believe the
ruined
impetus.
house blowing up for me. Like, if it's not a Phantasm explosion, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, if the roof has not landed 5 miles away, that's not a house exploding.
Like, I have seen a house explode. The bar has been set. No one has matched it.
It's just it's sloppy writing. Oh, he's gonna reject my marker. Okay, I'm gonna blow up his happy life, because in that conversation goes, all of this is in part to me. Okay, fine. So he takes it down. That's just a call to piss off John Wick, which it does. So then that's when.
So I picked up on this viewing. He said, well, they had the whole conversation. He basically says, I can't help you. And Santino says, no, you're right. You can't, but he can. The he can he's talking about is the old John Wick.
Yep.
And in doing, him blowing up the house is his way of bringing old John Wick back. He's destroying the new John Wick, and he's trying to bring back the old John, the one who can help him.
Yeah. It's
dumb, because, like, you know, what if one of that grenade hits John Wick? Well, that's the end of the film.
Right. Yep.
Because, like, you know, they're not the most accurate of things.
No, but it's like, but for me, it's just like, that's where the movie just it completely, not completely, mostly falls apart. So we have, I need John Wick to go do this. I'm gonna blow up his house with him in it because he's unkillable. I know I got him. All right, he did the job. Somebody kill him. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing here? Like, this is where like that. Me saying it's not
agree.
airtight writing is almost like more of a compliment. It's like this is borderline bad writing. Like, you can't say he's unkillable. That's why I hired him. Now, please, someone kill him for me. Oh, what? It's so tough. I'm going to put out a $7 million bounty on his head, and maybe that'll do it. And every assassin in the fucking New York City is going to come out and try to murder him. Even the homeless people are assassins. Watch out, violin player assassin. Watch out, that dude's in it. Like, oh my God. And none of them can do it because he's John Wick. So what was the point of this exercise?
For all the focus on his wife, the first movie, I wish they had a little more backpedaling to some of that, like the heartstring stuff. You know, they hardly touch on it. Like the first movie, he's looking at his phone like every other scene, trying to use her as like motivation to keep going. And in this movie, the only thing I think I remember was when they blow up the house, they show a brief spot of one of her photos burning up. And you could have had the impetus be more like, you've destroyed what little yeah.
But going on with, along with that, Joel, there's 3 instances of the wife. That one when the picture's burning, but then when after I forget which fight it is, he goes to his phone to look at her again, and his phone is destroyed. Like it's like he's losing that. He's losing that, but then he goes back to the house and discovers her bracelet again.
But I find that more compelling than like, I'm a caged tiger trying to get out stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
but I mean, and it's. It's bad writing, but then you get the good writing. You go to the Continental and you learn. I get the shit that I want. Okay, so you have a marker. There's literally 2 rules. One, which we found out in the first movie, you can't kill on Continental grounds. The second rule is you have to honor every marker, which Bryan has serious issue with. But that's when we start talking about the high table. We know nothing about the high table. Matt and I know more about the high table because, again, the movies expand on the world building, which is fine, I guess. But I think the motive is really stupid. My sister gets to sit at the mafia head table, and I have to eat her scraps in New York and be a low-level crime boss. Meh.
It just feels like very weak mob movie writing. Like,
yes.
But I agree with you, Ryan. Like, that's not where, like, I'm not trying to say the movie is poorly written, but that's like, I go back to that original point of like, it's hard to just dislike a movie and not full blown hate it. Cause there are things that work. Like the writing it's a roller coaster. There's things that work really well.
Not as tight.
Yeah. Like things that work really well. Like the idea of the marker, great. Implementing in the script, not great. Like, it's just like, maybe
that's what I mean. Like with
rushed.
This one,
like, is that a possibility? Like they just kind of like, we got to strike while the iron's hot.
Well, maybe 2014 to 2017, and you have to write a script and then film it.
But I'm not sure how quickly it got greenlit. I don't know the history behind it. I could have looked it up, but it didn't get greenlit till it was popular on DVD. That's when like most people saw it. Then there is a potentiality that this thing was rushed a little bit.
Yeah, but then
I think what it is like you said, there's a lot of in this film. There's a lot of these issues where it's like, oh, this doesn't work. But there's quite a few moments in it that hit the mark so perfectly. Like when he first goes to Rome and he's getting his suit. Great. Like the guy actually doing the suit is the costume designer as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
I absolutely love like when he's describing the armor as well. And he's like, 0 penetration. Unfortunately, quite painful, I'm afraid. And it's just like
and when he gets hit, he's like hurt. Like I love that.
Yeah. And
him and Common falling down as they're shooting each other, just keep shooting. It's great.
Yeah. But like what else works really well is where you start to see that the idea of like, this continental thing, like nothing will be conducted on continental grounds. Common and John Wick, they're trying to kill each other. They smash through into the continental and then they go get a drink at the bar. And I love because it shows that it's that world building thing of like, oh yeah, we cannot continue this. It's like sacred ground. It's like we can't fight on sacred ground. And it goes back to like the idea of the whole world that we're building of this Assassin's Guild or whatever you want to call it. It's very kind of like old school.
Yeah.
Going back to like, the old times. And it's almost like you can see that this has been here for 1,000 years. Like these rules were written like 1,000 years ago, and like it's just been there throughout history.
Like you almost expect at some point this was like a dueling club. We're like, oh, meet me out back. 10 pesos,
Right,
son.
yeah.
Like
Well, and see what I really like about this too is they're true to what I'm not saying Kaman's Italian, but again with the world building, I like that the Italian continental is there, and we've got Franco Nero, who is a great
so
Italian actor,
mm-hmm.
plays the equivalent of Winston. You know, this is the guy
Julius.
from Die Hard 2. He was in The Pope's Exorcist just recently. He's so good. And the Italian,
it's the original Django,
right?
Like literally.
Who's the Italian actress that the Italian, I think her name's Claudia something or other, but the Italian actress who plays Gianna, who is Santino's, she's fantastic.
She's fantastic. Yeah.
Her conversation with John before she slits her wrist about wanting to go out on her own terms, like she knew she was dead. The moment she saw John, she knew what her brother had done, which is to me, that's good writing in this ground world, you know. And she's like, I'm going out on my own. And John's like, okay, well, the fact that he had to shoot her, even though she he still had to make it look like he had done something. But like, that whole sequence, I really enjoy a very well-written conversation, especially where there's high stakes. And that one was fantastic. And then of course it leads to the catacombs fight, which is great.
It's a highlight of the movie for me is that catacombs.
And that's my number one.
Like it's such a good sequence. And like in a movie where like the action doesn't really grab me as much as I thought it would, the catacombs fight just stands apart. Like it's just such a very well done thing. And the fact that we get to see him like hiding his guns throughout the catacombs before we get to that, it's very good foreshadowing in a way that feels like it's kind of giving it away, but it also doesn't. It's just well done.
Yeah. Because what I like about the catacombs fight as well, it's like the sound design, because those gunshots, the bass on those gunshots is a lot deeper than we've had so far. Because this idea of like you're in a very enclosed space, that shit's gonna reverberate like hell, and they're gonna have more of an impact.
Have they gone back? I watched this on an Xbox in my bedroom in this TV behind me, so not the best viewing experience. Have they gone back and done an Atmos mix on this? Because I would love to hear that sequence in a theater.
All four of them have Atmos mixes on 4K Blu-ray. John Wick 4's Atmos mix is incredible. There's the very opening of John Wick 4.
Don't spoil it.
Bass.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but the bass that you get on some like these things that happen in that very opening sequence is amazing. Like it's proper like when you're like, oh fuck me, I felt that. Like maybe I'll have to like the sound mix on these films. Like I said, like Chapter 4 is like I've said this multiple times. It's reference-worthy Atmos sound mix. Chapter 4 for me.
That sequence,
reference-worthy is one of the most nerdy things I've heard you say. Like, I love that I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I can't even tell you the DB level you're listening to it at, but it's just like, oh, that is some sweaty nerd stuff. I appreciate you, Matt. Is what I'm saying. This is
so my neighbor. Like, I live in a house that's like we're all connected. My neighbor, like the sound system I've got, it's quite good. They can't hear anything because all the sound's being projected into the room.
Yeah,
but they can hear the bass.
I bet they can.
So like, I watched like the first time I watched John Wick 4 on 4K. That like just happened the next day. I saw my neighbor and she's like, "Were you watching an action film last night?" I was like, "Yeah, right." It's like, "Oh, I heard all the bass. I could hear all the rumbling." I was like, "Oh, sorry." It's like, "No, it's fine." Like, I'm very lucky that my neighbor doesn't really care too much.
That's
because that way I can crank it up as well, and it's like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, reference level is potentially dangerous for your ears. You got to wait for the right ones. Like,
I mean, reference level is potentially dangerous for my ears. It's also potentially dangerous for certain things that I had, like have standing on that I had to move because the vibration was moving them move on their own. I was like, oh, let's move that.
So, but the catacombs scene, like it really makes it's an immersive experience, especially when he gets the shotgun. Not only is he doing this cool ass shit with reloading the shotgun, but you feel it. Like I brought my sound bar upstairs for this movie because I wanted to feel the bass. Like I had it at 20 and I thought I was going to wake up my kid. But no, again, come on is very hit or miss with me. You know, he hits him with his car. They're sitting there. You're having a bad night, John. Not a good line for me. Like that was not a good line. But then they crash through, and I really like that they know each other's drink.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Gin, wasn't it?
Gin, wasn't
Bourbon.
it? Bourbon, right? Like that was cool. And they talk about professional courtesy.
Mhm.
That sequence right there redeems his qualities because then he stands up and stupid Ruby Rose, I'll be seeing you. Fucking bullshit. Anyway.
But just John's like the moment he like tries to like smooth it over, like, so it's done. Is it done?
Yeah.
No. Like just like yeah, we almost had an out here. But once
what I like as well is like where Common is he understands that like, yeah, it's a job he couldn't help. So he's like, I'll make it quick though. And then like John's like retort was like, I'll do the same for you.
Professional
I
courtesy.
really like, yeah, and it goes back to that thing like it's not really personal. It is slightly personal for Common, but on the flip side, he knows that it's also professional. Like John did not really want to. Because I think he even explains that Santino had the marker on him and made him do it in that sequence as well.
See,
which
like,
again, to me, like for me, that would then like as Common, I'd be then going after Santino, like because I know that John has no choice. Why he keeps going after John? I don't know. Like this is where the bad writing comes in. Because
and again, like this is for me,
that lingering thing of like if someone just fucking tells someone that Santino made John kill his sister, Santino's in a load of shit. Like, surely he's in a load of shit because they have to have rules in this thing that you can't just go and kill anyone to get their position.
Ryan's losing his mind.
They make John Wick so smart. They make John Wick so smart and a man of focus and all this stuff. When the reveal of the double cross happens, when Ari's or Ruby Rose or go fuck yourself, she's standing there, it's like loose ends, right? Like to me, it just. And to me, it's like, did he set up the guns because he knew that he was going to get stabbed in the back, or was he worried that Cassian was? I get that he was prepared there, but like if he knew that Santonio was going to put a contract, because that's essentially what he wants to tie up loose ends, and he wants to make it appear like he's avenging his sister, and John Wick did this without motive. Like to me, that just doesn't add up, especially in a world where everything is written for markers. It's gonna come out that Santonio put a hit out on his sister.
I like Santuni. Let's stick with Santuni.
He's not this avenging angel. So like to me, his motive to kill John Wick was not good. And that's why we, like you said, Brian, we just get this action right at the end of the movie, because now he's putting a contract out because he has to tie up loose ends when he should have just let him go free. So to me, that's when the writing really kind of fell off the rails for me. I still think the other world building was okay. It's just,
and like
it is $7 million for a contract. It's yeah.
And that's not to take away from the stuff they do in the end of the movie. Like the entire mirror sequence where Ruby Rose eventually gets stabbed, it's really well done. Like it's a fun sequence, but it's not like the stakes are so low for me at that point, and I'm so checked out at just every assassin in New York coming after him for whatever reason, that like even though it's cool, I'm not enjoying it as much as I want to. Like I enjoyed watching him fight with Common, and I really love the whole like stab him in the chest, like that's in your aorta, go to a doctor or
yeah,
doc.
that's
yeah.
And like good. I love
professional courtesy.
The look he gave was just not good acting. It's like
no, but no, I'm just asking for the most minimal spoilers. Does he come back, or is that the last we see of him?
He's not in it at any point.
That's kind of a bummer. Like, don't leave him alive then, because like that was a good like.
He does the same with Ruby Rose, and she doesn't come back.
No, she's dead.
Yeah, I assume she was dead.
Is she? I'll be seeing you.
I guess I don't know, but like that one, she felt more dead to me than Common, because Common, like they make the point like you're dead if you do anything.
Like, I took her be seeing you as like see you in hell.
Yeah, that's what I did.
He's like, sure, but we have to talk about the pencil. We're getting our head ourselves with Common.
I don't like that.
I hate it. I hate it.
We have to talk about the pencil and the sumo wrestler.
I actually hate it as well.
That is mythos that didn't need to be allowed.
I agree 100%.
It was better when it was just a story. And
it's a story of like what he's done before. Like now it's like, he will always try to kill someone with a pencil.
This goes back to my point of we've said it. Now we have to deliver on it. Like this movie is almost okay. We've set up some shit. Now we better deliver, and that's exactly what we're getting. So he's taking down a giant sumo, and the contract is open. So now he's doing this. To me, it was better left to be imagery in your brain than actually showing it.
Yeah. And if not,
then you have to up it.
Then he has to kill a fourth person. Like that's the only way for me to make it worthwhile. Is like I've seen him kill 3 people with a pencil, and they're like, fuck, now he's done 4. Like that was the only way to make that a better thing.
Yeah.
But just to match
that's
it,
just
or does he
2.
do 2? It's like
There's
why
2
are we
people with 2
doing this?
pencils as well. There is a much better, and like this is not a major spoiler because it's only a very brief thing. There's a much better bit with a pencil in 4.
Okay,
And it's not even John Wick. It's not even John Wick. So that's all I will say on that.
fair enough.
I'm assuming this doesn't go away, but I don't like how many broken limbs we're getting.
Just you.
I cringe every time I see it.
3 is broken. There's themes after this. 3 is broken glass. 4 is stairs and cars, but we'll get into that. But like, I love Winston after these assassination attempts happen, because that's when he goes to claim the marker and he's like, dude, you brought this on yourself. Like that is pure Ian McShane. You stabbed the devil in the back.
I was just about to say, that is such a good line where you just like the delivery of you stabbed the devil in the back.
Yep. And he wanted the marker because if Winston had the marker claimed, that means John can go after him now.
Yeah.
And that's what Winston wanted. I thought that was perfect. It wasn't how Winston wanted it, but that's when you get the $7 million, and that's when Cassian shows up and all these assassins. So I love this because it shows him on the run, and that's when we get Lawrence Fishburne, the Bowery King.
Yeah.
And I do like Lawrence Fishburne. I think and I know we need to start wrapping this thing up here at some point, but
we're towards the end.
Yeah. The thing is, as we get closer to the end, like with Lawrence Fishburne, with him shooting how am I forgetting his name now? The villain, the fuckhead in the face in the
Santini.
Santini, thank you. Santuni. Shooting Santuni in the face.
Sampoopy.
It just starts leaning to the point where like I feel the same way I do at a lot of current like action movies, a lot of these part 1s. Oh, I'm just watching an advertisement for part 3. Yeah. And like the more that started happening at the end of this movie, the more I started getting pulled out of it. And like and that has worked for me in the past with other movies. Looking at you, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, like that has worked when it's done right. For me, it just didn't work here, where I feel like, okay, I get it, so I have to go see part 3. Like,
it was definitely a next time on kind of moment, and it's too blatant. And I've come to really have a distaste for that kind of ending point. Even if you're going to have a continuation, you want a closed loop moment where it's like, okay, we've concluded this story, but there might be something,
and you don't get that with this movie.
And that's I've got a love-hate relationship with the final moments of this movie, because I liked that moment where it's like, you have the only reason you're okay is because I'm saying it's okay, and everybody turns on him in that 1 second, and it's a very cool he orchestrated this whole thing. he made sure that
to that point when everything starts to go down, when Santino was at the museum for his inauguration. Oh, is he frozen?
No, you froze.
No, you froze.
Damn it! Damn it! I thought MetroNet was gonna be good. No, I was gonna say, I don't even know what I was rambling. I like how when we meet Gianna, she's told about Mr. Aoki and how everything was okay there. And then at the party, when he's getting crowned or getting put to the high table, he meets Mr. Aoki, and then the bloodbath starts. So like, I like how they're still trying to tie things together, but like it really fell off the rails, like I said earlier. The Bowery King really showing him grace. That's why I kind of want to say, if we do a rank, I kind of want to do like his allies, because I think he's a good ally, but like he's so smug. 7 million contracts, $1 million a bullet. Here you go. Like, to me, that was awesome. And he uses those so quick too in that fight. Like,
that's where I'm like, it's cool, but at the same time, like, he didn't really need a gun. He's John Wick. I've seen him kill 3 people or 2 people with a pencil. Like, it's a cool sequence to get him there, but again, it's just, I'm seeing the filmmaking. I need a gun, so I need to go see this guy. Oh, $7 million, 1 bullet per million. He's just gonna shoot.
It's not just their gun. Yeah, it's not just the gun though, because like he uses the Bowery King's network to get around.
That's true.
So it's not just the gun. Like, he gets into the party by using the Bowery King's network. Like, and that's the thing, because above ground, he is basically running into assassins everywhere. Like, the whole thing, like, the assassins popping up everywhere, I don't mind it so much, because I feel like there's been like an announcement gone out, like, well, John Wick's going to be in this area. He's going to be coming to this point. So let's put some assassins on watch. And then the minute that like there's actually an announcement, and Like, we don't see police in this. And I get
Right.
the idea that the police are all kind of like on the take or report to them. So it basically, it would go out of like, oh, John Wick's on the MTA here. Everyone go there. And it's like, that's why it's like, because it's not the sequence you're talking about with like, oh, everyone's assassin. It's a montage of like, you know, you see the guy, the big sort of like giant sumo guy, and then you cut to him fighting the violinist. And it's like, I take the violinist as like, you know, she's kind of like one of these people who's waiting for him to come. And it's like, he has actually shown up. I imagine that there's like, you know, other people all around the city waiting in different areas of like where he could come in. And that's why I take it. That's why I don't mind it so much, because it doesn't feel like everyone's an assassin. It kind of feels like, oh, they've planted some people to watch for him.
And in my take, I think you're helping the movie out more than the movie's giving you. Like, I don't think the movie's giving you any of that. I think you're enjoying it and you're putting it in there to help it work. I do this all the fucking time with movies. I like DC movies. I have to do that. Like, but like, I just don't think the movie gives that to you. Like, I think it's a fault of the movie to show all of these assassins. Because to me, it goes, there's too many assassins. Like, there's only so many people to be murdered. Like, there's no way that many people chose that profession. It just seems like too much. Like, they made the world too big, too fast.
Well, see, and I agree with that a little bit, but I also enjoy the fact that we don't know like the power that these people have until that moment. We know Winston is a big dude. He's got a lot going on, but for him to show that type of power, be like, I've controlled this entire area, because they could just as easily stand around the perimeter and tell people, you know, back off. But for him to say, I willed it, and then someone goes now, and they all stop, is very like, oh, this is a big world. You know, it leads to further questions of how big this goes, and especially at the very end when he says it's going international.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I wish it was handled better, is where I'd leave it. Like, I think the idea is cool, and I'm excited to see where it goes in 3. But I wish it had been handled in a way that was, I don't know.
I kind of feel like
less on the nose, I guess, is what I go with.
Like, John Wick 2 is the Fast and Furious 4. You have to have it to get to the Fast 5.
I like that analogy.
A movie I famously defend a lot.
Yeah, and I think that, but that's the thing. Like, it's very similar. It's very similar points that you defend in Fast and Furious 4 against this one a bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's very written. It was a very written film to get you to certain points, and that's the problem we have with this one. And I think that's where it kind of comes down to. And I think the main reason for me is, like, you know, Ryan, you've said it numerous times, like, a good film, like an action film, needs a good villain.
Yep.
This one doesn't have one.
Nope.
Like, and it's
a
shame.
Bitch.
Yeah, and because you could have made something way more out of Santino, but the problem is, he just comes across as very whiny. There's no intimidation from the character. Vigo, there is intimidation. Like, you know that he's kind of fucked and isn't really going to stand a chance, but he's still intimidating. He still has this intimidating presence. He has a presence, whereas Santino doesn't, and Ruby Rose doesn't. Like, I'm kind of like with you, like this watch through as well. It's just, she can't sign language.
No.
Like, when she was doing like the sorry I fucked up, I actually cringed.
Oh,
It's overacting. How do you overact doing sign language?
Because she's not good. Santino, a bad guy, right? If Vigo had a henchman who failed to kill John Wick, like, he would kill them. But
you would assume,
right? And
look what he did to the priest.
And she's getting him out the door of this mere exposition, and she's like, "Go, I'll take care of it." At my mind, I would have been like, "No, I want you as cannon fodder in case he does catch up, because you've already failed me once." That's what my brain would have been.
She's like going, "I'll take care of this." Well, you couldn't before, when you had an army.
Again, poorly written. It just doesn't work for me. She's not a formidable villain, and she's a horrible actress, and she can't even sign as an actress. Sorry,
but like it's even just down to like the I want to say the casting to a certain degree, because like you watch Ruby Rose versus Keanu Reeves, it's like, well, Keanu Reeves has got like 100 pounds on her. Like there's not, like, I'm not saying it's impossible for somebody who's lighter in muscle and mass to take down someone bigger. It's just, you got to prove to me that they can do it. Like when I watch, say, like Milla Jovovich, any of the Resident Evil movies, it's like, okay, yeah, she might be 90 pounds soaking wet, but she's a fucking badass. Like I'm afraid of her.
Put Milla Jovovich in Ruby Rose's position. I believe that. I buy that character is a badass. Like, you know, put someone like that in there. Put Milla Jovovich, Angelina Jolie, anyone who can, like, you know, who can actually has that, like, you know, Gal Gadot, like someone like that who can, like, you know, do that physicality and make it believable. The problem with Ruby Rose is she doesn't really, like, the fight sequences that you see her in with the, even like the hand stuff, she just kind of looks like she's flailing around, like with that knife at the end.
She's doing choreography.
Yeah,
she's doing choreography. She's not masking the choreography. She's memorized her moves.
And that's kind of the problem. Like with these films, like beforehand, like you look at the choreography in the first one, you don't see the choreography. It feels so raw and real. Then you go to this one where you got, like, you know, some of the choreography is very much like that. You don't see it. It looks very natural. But then you get other bits like, even, you know, like that fight at the end. It just feels very...
Come on. Like, it's not like it felt...
It does. It feels like, you know, there's a few bits, like you're saying, on the MTA fight especially, where it's like they're waiting for the... what would you call it? Oh, fuck me.
No thanks.
Waiting for the
You're far away.
Okay. I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's like you're basically waiting for the cues. That's it. They're waiting for the cue.
That word.
And it's like that's the problem. Like, because you can see that. It's like it's partially choreography, it's partially editing. Because you can edit out those cues a bit more. But I think with, like, that's where it kind of falls apart a little bit. What I do like about the MTA fight, you have the people in the background, and it's kind of very believable. They're just kind of like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. The minute that train stops and those doors opens, they're fucking out of there.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that bit. Because
I don't
it's
remember,
just like you
there's one sequence, I don't remember which one it was, that I was watching with Chewie, who's worked on many action films. So she likes to peek behind the curtains a little bit every now and then. It's just something I never really clued into before. And she's like, I love sequences like this, because, you know, outside the camera, there's two ADs and a couple PAs just standing by the extras, like, just run, keep going, no, run back and forth. I don't care, just keep running back and forth. And as soon as she pointed that out, I noticed one extra literally just running back and forth, just going the whole way. I'm like, oh god, that Chewie nailed it. Like, that's so good. Oh god, where do I go? So now I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to the extras in the background of John Wick movies, because that one, they really sold it. They earned their paycheck. Should we move into quotes and favorite moments? I feel like we should. We've already lost one of our co-hosts. Joel just dipped on us.
I mean, I think the only thing that I'd like to mention is, like, just the end, the very end. Like, you know, we've talked a little bit about, like, the now bit, but I like the Winston, like, he has a job to do. He has to declare him excommunicado, but he gives him a bit of time, like, and he gives him the marker as well. It's like, you know, kind of like that thing of, like, setting up the sequel, but it's also you still get that thing, like, even though he has to basically kill him, like, now, like, John Wick has to be killed because he's now excommunicado because of, you know, breaching the rules. There's still enough in there that he's kind of bending the rules enough to help him as much as he can, because he wants him to get away. Yeah.
That father figure sort of coming back a little bit. Yeah. Like, I respect you, and I realize 99% of the people I'm about to send after you are going to their graves, but, you know, gotta do what I gotta do.
I mean, it's that look on his face where he says, tell them, Winston, anyone they send after me, I'll kill them all. And then he just smiles and goes, but of course you will. And I love that.
And I haven't seen part 3 yet. I'm assuming he does do that.
It opens up with that opening is earned.
So you know how Phantasm 2 picks up right where Phantasm 1 left off?
Yes.
John Wick 3 does that. It picks up right where John Wick 2 left off.
Okay. And it's earned. And the mythology and the world building continues in a better way. Hello, Angelica Houston.
I'm in.
And Halle Berry.
Yep.
I'm interested. They have my attention. We're gonna see how well they hold it. I'm excited to get the rest of this thing. All right, let's do this. Let's get into our quotes and favorite moments. Joel did send us his, so I will read his for him. His favorite moment was in the fight with Common when they're shooting each other through the water fountain. If Joel was here, I'd be like, Joel, I disagree with you in that moment. I don't like that moment at all. John Wick
I don't like
civilians.
that moment. Yeah,
What
that's
are
what
we
I was
doing?
thinking in that. Like that's exactly what I think. Like, no, the water's not going to stop them bullets. He's just he just killed a few innocent people accidentally.
Yeah,
that's not John Wick.
Also not like John Wick to take such risky shots. Like usually he's shooting when he knows he can hit him. Like even like when they're walking the silent part with like the silencers, the world's greatest silencers.
I hate that movie. I hate that movie. Hate that part. Hate that
but even
part.
that's more believable than the fountain shot. But you know what? I could. It does look.
It's
cool.
movies. It's movie silencers though. Like the idea of an actual silencer, going a little bit gun nerdy here, not to make the gun silent. It's just to make this gunshot not sound like a gunshot.
Yeah.
So they're still loud, so you can
Loud as
still
shit.
hear something. Yeah. But it's just it lowers the decimal a little bit and then doesn't make it sound like a gunshot. So that wouldn't work. And I'm sorry, why are you shooting your gun so close to your own face as well? Have they not?
Oh
heard
yeah,
a
just like right
muzzle?
here. Like you're getting hit by shells.
Yeah. They're injecting into your face. Like,
yeah.
Jesus fuck.
I famously don't like guns and I don't like play with them, but even I know that. Like Jesus. His favorite quote was when the sister was getting about to get murdered, and it was and here you are, death's very emissary. It's like, yeah, that's a very good epic. Very
it's
epic.
A brilliant line is that. That is such a good line. I like just going back to that very quickly as well. Like her going out on her own terms, it mirrors Marcus in the first one as well. Like because you have Vigo saying, "Oh, you're going to go out on my terms." It's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to go out on my terms, and he fights back and goes out on his own terms, and I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go because my line is I love my line. My favorite moment is everything about the catacombs fight. I thought that it was very well choreographed. Everything set up was perfect. The lead in, everything was well earned and warranted. So just that whole sequence was great. My favorite line is when he goes to the Bowery King and he meets him upstairs with Zelda Pigeon, and Lawrence Fishburne is just tearing up the scenery. And he asks his subordinate how much the contract is up to, and he goes 7, and he goes, whoa, damn! It's Christmas, and we're going to Applebee's.
I like Lawrence Fishburne in this movie.
That's so good. I'm done.
he gets even better as well.
Yeah,
that's good. All right, my favorite moment in this, I kind of go back and forth on a couple of them. I think I land with Common with the knife in the chest and just that's in your aorta. Like I really liked that moment. It's like a really good like professional courtesy. Show that John never really had any ill will against the guy. Just he was his adversary. So I thought that was a really good moment. My favorite quote, I'm gonna butcher the shit out of it because I don't speak Italian. But it's when he shows up to the Italian Continental and he's meeting with the head of that Continental. He's like, "Oh, I thought you'd retired." I had. Then humor me, but one question. I'm not going to try to read it. He asked him, "Are you here for the Pope in Italian?"
Yep, I love that line. And then as soon as he goes, "No," it's like, "Oh, well, I have the best room for you."
Yeah, continue on then.
Like,
no problem.
Just no. All right, then. One of our finest rooms. I love that
bit
that
so much, and it's
right this
Franco
way, Mr.
Nero
Wick.
is so good the way he delivers it as well. Franco Nero is fucking brilliant in that.
He nailed it. It's so good. And I love that he asks him in Italian, "Are you here for the Pope?"
Yeah.
Just want to know how bad business is going to be here for me.
Yeah. And Matt, you didn't go yet, right?
No. So my favorite, like you'd know if I'd been, because my line is like that much on my page. But my favorite moment is the catacombs. Like the sound mix alone it's incredible. Like it's something you have to see in like an Atmos environment. Like, I have my soundbar system that's Atmos enabled. It sounds amazing that I have no conception of how that would have sounded in the cinema because I never saw it in the cinema. The first one I saw in the cinema was 3 next week. But yeah, I love that whole sequence. I just think like he goes from like the pistol, moves across, gets to the rifle, like runs out of ammo on the rifle, switches the shotgun, and like each time as he's running out, he's got the pistol that he keeps like keeping rounds down. It's just so fucking good. It's so
really
good.
is.
And like the reload where he's like flipping the right. I did that with one of my airsoft guns once, and I nearly broke the one of the mirrors because fuck me, they fly out. And these are not real guns as well. They don't have the thing that actually pushes.
That's funny.
But my favorite quote, and I apologize in advance for how long this is going to take, but I cannot not do the whole thing. Good afternoon, Mr. Wick. It's been a long time. I'd like a tasting. I know your past fondness for the German varietals, but I can wholeheartedly endorse the new breed of Austrians, Glock 34 and 26, recontoured grips, flared magwell for easier reloads, and I know you'll appreciate the custom porting. What's next? I need something robust, precise. Robust, precise. AR-15 11.5 inch compensated with an iron bonded bolt carrier, Trijicon Acupont with 1.6 magnification. Could you recommend anything for the end of the night? Something big, bold. May I suggest the Benelli M4? Custom bolt carrier release and charging handles, textured grips should your hands get wet. An Italian classic. Dessert. Our finest cutlery, all freshly stoned. And then like that whole sequence is so good. Like just Peter Serafinowicz is fucking amazing in that. Like the just the way like he emphasizes like should your hands get wet, and like the look of joy on his face when he said like when he goes to like dessert, it's like dessert. It's like he's so proud of his knives. He's so proud of them.
Spoiler, Matt. I knew that was going to be your quote.
Of course it was. I have watched that whole montage sequence like more times than the whole film. Like
I guessed that was going to be his quote when I watched the movie last night. I'm like, I'm gonna have to hear Matt read this whole thing.
I was like, Matt's really big into airsoft and knowing what he's going to choose. This is his part.
Yeah. This whole series has Matt written all over it.
Well, what I like about that as well, because you've got it's all mixed in with all the other stuff. So you've also got the Taylor stuff as well, and like he's going through like all the different like how many buttons, like, and what about the lining? Tactical. I just like it's so good. Like
I loved that by having that scene with the suit. It now explains why John Wick goes for the head every time, because everyone he knows is wearing body armor everywhere, so you got to go for the head.
Yep.
I mean, it's the best thing to shoot for, really.
It moves a lot.
Yeah, but the minute you put one in the head, it's lights out.
I mean, I guess that's true. All right. I think we've done it. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So next week, though, we're venturing into some uncharted territories. I've never really done podcasts in this show on things that I haven't seen before. So I'm last time I did this was Hobbs and Shaw. So I'll saw how that went.
Well, you also did it on V the miniseries, and you loved that. So
that's true. That one I loved. So and
that was one suggested by me. So
again,
what was finding out is the things I suggest you enjoy, the things Ryan suggests.
I was even talking about this.
Made for great podcasts.
I was even talking about it with Brock, because Brock hates 3, and I'm like, oh, if you hate 3, that's be a problem. He's like, I don't know. Don't you usually agree with Matt more than me? I'm like, oh, 100%. I almost always agree with Matt. I rarely agree with Brock. So, all right, I'm looking forward to 3 a little bit. No offense, Brock. Brock has excellent taste. I just don't agree with him.
I think that
seemed like an insult.
I give Chapter 2 more latitude than you. I think when it comes to like these films, I give Chapter 2 more latitude just because I really do appreciate like the moments I really appreciate. And there are I kind of agree with you with a lot of the problems that you mentioned, but I can kind of just hand wave them away. This is the series where I can go kind of like fuck it, like when what you were doing with the Terminator Salvation.
How 3 and
I can
4,
do that with this film.
How 3 and 4 use 2 as a building block is where I have. I'm very much okay with it.
I look forward to watching them. Be sure to tune in next week, because we are going to release these weekly, even though we peek behind the curtain. We have no idea what that schedule is going to be right now. I think Ryan has the best plan. We're going to figure that one out.
Which, if that's the case, this should drop the same week as the premiere of The Continental on Peacock.
Yeah, so everyone's feeling John Wick, and I look forward to watching The Continental. I have no idea how good it'll be or bad it'll be, but I'm looking forward to it.
Based on the trailers, I think it's gonna be bad, but maybe bad in a good way.
We'll find out.
It can't be worse than Hobbs and Shaw.
I was just gonna say Hobbs.
We've seen
I mean,
worse.
like I said in my wrap up, being kicked in the nuts twice is better than Hobbs and Shaw.
Hey,
I love
listen,
a good prequel as long as the prequel's done right. But I don't know. The guy's got a lot big shoes to fill with being Winston at a young age.
oh boy.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so very quick.
I could just see how that kid did it though. Be like, yes, Mr. McShane, can I walk around you for a little bit? Can I just hang out with you and learn your mannerisms?
Yeah, that'd probably be the only way to even get close.
To do it.
Yeah.
Just watch a little Lovejoy. That's probably what he did.
Watch a little Jesus of Nazareth. It's fine.
Geez. Okay, we need to do some plugs. We need to say goodbye for the show. Your show at athpod.com, including shows by Joel, who's not with us anymore, like Afterthoughts, and then he's not on ATH Network and his own thing, I believe, with Ryan and Front Row. I'm ruining Joel's plugs. I'm sorry, Joel. Super GG Radio. Check that one out as well. I did more for him than I did for me. I'm trying to be nice. My goal of the month. Go ahead, Matt. Plug your nothing.
Nothing.
Well done.
I was going to think of something funny then, but like I just couldn't.
You should have been like John Wick and just said, sure.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Ryan, what you got coming?
You can catch me on the Front Row Network where I do a lot of movie reviews, TV reviews, things along those lines. But you can really catch me on Front Row Flashbacks where we talk about movies from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And I have no idea what we're releasing in September. I think it's going to be a John Carpenter because we love John Carpenter at Flashbacks.
Who doesn't love John Carpenter? What's wrong with them? Nothing. If they don't like John Carpenter, there's a lot wrong with them.
Yeah, I only know one person who really doesn't like John Carpenter. There's a lot wrong with that person.
Yeah.
We need to get off this thing before I have an aneurysm.
Wait, do you like John Carpenter? Did you not like John Carpenter?
I love John Carpenter.
Who doesn't?
I love John Carpenter.
You're out of your mind to not like John Carpenter.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
Yeah.
Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The Ward, right?
I love The Ward.
I actually do like The Ward. I know.
I love The Ward.
I actually like it.
I don't think I've seen that yet. Actually,
It's such a good sleeper. It snuck under the radar.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, so there, final plug. Go check out John Carpenter's The Ward. Not enough people saw it. All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.